Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bash on the Buttons Week 2 of Pro Wrestling for NES. We had a riot last week, and I don't see why this week's going to be any different. So, before we get started, a few things. We did post the poll a little less than an hour ago on what the next 4 game order will be. And again, that is WCW NWO Revenge for Nintendo 64. That is In Your House for Sega Saturn. That is Royal Rumble for Dreamcast and Tag Team Wrestling for NES. Now, Tag Team Wrestling, infamously terrible, and it has a vote, and I think I know who that is, and his name rhymes with Schmefren. But right now, your leader in the clubhouse, WCW NWO Revenge for Nintendo 64, In Your House for Sega Saturn is last, surprisingly. Dreamcast Royal Rumble is third, and then Tag Team Wrestling for NES is second. Those got more than one vote, which is also gross. Of course, we are here in the middle of WWE Elimination Chamber, which if you're joining us, put the Elimination Chamber on your television, put us on your phone, mute them, listen to us, and be a part of the conversation as we go back, relive retro gaming magic here on the NES. And also, if you're new to the show, welcome. This is Bash on the Buttons. We do one game every 3 weeks. And as I said, this is week 2 of Pro Wrestling NES. And week 2, we always talk about what was going on creatively when this game came out. Now, as you may have noticed, this is not a licensed video game as far as WCW or WWF is concerned. So we're going to do both. What was both companies doing creatively here when this game was released? And this game was released, I believe, in the spring of 1987. Let's make sure. It was released March of 87. So we are getting towards WrestleMania 3, and then we'll have to do some research on what old Jim Crockett Promotions, soon to be WCW, was doing here in the spring of 87. Also, if you're a long-time viewer, first-time caller, you also know that before we get started, usually we record on Fridays, Saturday. Either way, it's a weekend, and it's been a hell of a weekend, so we always make ourselves a little gaming cocktail before we get started. Let's have a drink. Let's get loose. Hell of a week. Old TJ put in 62 hours this week at work, and my calves hurt. Getting old is the best, 41. Gonna be in March in 32 days. Actually, no, I guess it would be 30 days. It is February. And all the signs are there, that I'm over 40. It's there. Knees, calves, head. I just walk in the room and forget shit constantly now. And of course, if you were with us last week, you remember the miracle it was that this MSN homepage jumped on. How do I get this to go away? Like, hey, you want to look at this, don't you? No, I don't. What is this? This has never happened before. Piss off. Cool. So the NES worked the whole show. Well, almost. We got about 50 minutes in until it failed. And today came down just before the show started. Fired right up. And also, if you remember the last show, we were able to go and win the championship here in this game. I think we did it with who did we do it with? Oh, the Swamp Thing, the Amazon. Right? No, who was it? I don't remember. Who do we win with? Let's see. We won. Was it Giant Panther? It might have been Giant Panther, now that I think about it. So let's start. According to Efren, King Slender is the best. So let's go ahead and jump in with old King Slender. And here we go. Oh, so if you remember, Efren did tell us at the base or the ring apron down here, nice clothesline. So where the ring apron is, it says go fight, go fight. In between it says R5. Oh, it would probably help if you guys can see the screen. What am I doing? So there, go fight, go fight. In the middle is R5. That's how many matches it takes before you win the championship. And then after that, it turns into D, which is defense. And I think once you defend, what did Efren say? 9 times, you are, Bruno Sammartino or whatever. I don't remember exactly what happens. Kicked to the mush. So of course I'm excited for this week because we get to talk WrestleMania 3. I just watched WrestleMania 4 last night, which if you are having a hard time remembering, that is the tournament that crowned Randy Savage the world champion. And again, there's so many matches on that card. It's a lot. It's 3.5 hours. Might be over that. Might be like 3 hours and 43 minutes or something like that. But to me, it's worth the sit. Again, you get to see the crowning of Macho Man Randy Savage as the man. And, also you got Ted DiBiase, you got Andre the Giant, Hogan. There's a lot going on. But I know it gets shit now because it's so long. But dude, you guys, we need to have a discussion. WrestleMania 4 is vastly underrated. It's really good. This is also the show Demolition beat Strikeforce for the tag team titles. Also, they had a match between Honky Tonk Man and Brutus Barber Beefcake. And if Beefcake won, not only would he get to be the Intercontinental Champion, he would also get to shave Jimmy Hart's head. But if Beefcake lost, he would get his head shaved. And in classic WWF fashion, none of those things happened. I know they got a lot going on behind the scenes and everything else to think of. But how are you going to have a match with stipulations that seemingly, no matter the outcome, you're going to see one of them, and then we see none of them? Brainbuster. That's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, King Slender, as we head on to the next opponent. Winner is you. We actually do have a website, Markout Moments Network store. Let me see if we have the banner for it so you can look her up. We don't. I have to get that for Pond Water. But I think it's imperative on this show, for this show, that we get a t-shirt that says winner is you immediately. Went for the pile driver, did not work. Let's see if I can get the clothesline, boom. But what's odd about Netflix, we kind of thought with Netflix, like, oh, maybe some of our Peacock goofy way how they index thing is over with. It is not. Because I watched WrestleMania 4, and then when I was done, I said, hey, you know what? Go ahead and play the next one. And it played 3. Which is fine. I also like 3. And again, it's a shame because that show, WrestleMania 3, is now known for the only thing people talk about from that show is the attendance, which is a shame because, again, it's a good show. And I haven't watched it in a while, but here's what I know. Andre and Hogan, obviously, is your main event for the world title. It got -4 stars from the Wrestling Observer. I don't know how that's possible. I honestly don't. However many people were in that building. We'll say safely it was over 70,000. I think that's reasonable. They were all into that shit, and I don't know what else you graded on. Just me. Cannot get the pile driver here on Starman. But I think from a storyline perspective, that match does not get its fair due. And also just the momentous feel of the match of itself, the feud of Hogan and Andre. And mind you, this is a match. They did the angle where Andre joined Heenan and ripped Hogan's necklace off on, was that a Saturday Night's Main Event? I think it was. And then Ventura was there for some reason. Jesse Ventura was wandering around. I think it, we just beat Starman. Oh shit. I think it was a snake pit. No, it was a Piper's pick because Piper was there. And but that happened 2 months before, 3 months before. So not a lot of time to build up that match. And it still was. I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, in the history of wrestling, in the history of big time matches. I think Hogan Andre from Mania 3 is still top 3. And here's the crazy thing. One can make the argument that Hogan Andre from Saturday Night's Main Event leading to 4 is also in the top 5. Because it led to the crowning of Macho Man Randy Savage. So they're doing some business here in the late 80s. Now, unfortunately, it came to careening to a screeching halt right at the end of the decade. Well, 1990, I guess. King Corin Karn is just Rey Mysterio in the shit out of me here. Brainbuster outside the ring. Get out. We'll get him. I'm going to get him. Oh, he pile drive me on the floor. Boy, you lucky. But here at 3, we're doing Hogan Andre. March of 87 when this game came out. Of course, we get Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. And of course, the match is fondly remembered. I don't think enough people remember why the match happened, which is the Randy Savage turnbuckle to the throat to Ricky Steamboat. That whole angle was terrific. Oh, what the fuck? Pile driver. 1, 2, 3. We are on fire. Out of the gate, 3-0. And there's no difficulty to pick on this game. It's just go. Uh-oh. So that means the champion is going to be Fighter Hayabusa. Now, I'm about to pull up the card. Well, you got Adonis Piper, which, again, a lot of people don't look on that match fondly because of what Adonis looked like. He had gained a ton of weight here by WrestleMania 3. But with the gimmick, and he didn't lose any mobility. Adonis was still moving really well in that match. Did a great job. And what was supposed to be Piper's farewell matches, of course, we know that did not happen. He wrestled, I think, for WCW through 99, and then he would even have a tag team title run with Ric Flair in the WWE in the 2000s. We are getting just smoked right now by the Amazon. If, almost lost in less than a minute. I'm not feeling good right now. Because I keep going for big moves. Stop it, dummy. Nope, that's it. I just got destroyed by the Amazon. Fighter Hayabusa. This is not for the title because I just lost. Here we go. This is the one that's based off of Antonio Inoki. Of course, King Slender is King Slender is Ric Flair. Giant Panther is either Hogan or Kerry Von Erich. Pick one. That's what it says. The Amazon is, I guess, the one heel in the game, and he cheats. And they're like, "Hey, it's the '80s. That makes him Abdul the Butcher," which is normal. I guess that's fine. And then King Korn Karn is supposed to be Genghis Khan. Body slam. Let's tone it down. Let's not go for all big moves. After this, we're going to pull up the WrestleMania 3 card and see what else the WWF had going on, and then we're going to try to figure out what was Jim Crockett Promotions doing here in March of '87, other than hemorrhaging money. Brainbuster. 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out with authority, and then brainbustered me. That's rude. Going to the top, he connects. Pile driver. You know, I'm going to go to the top. I missed. Too far. Ooh, nice kick. 1, 2. Nene. Pile driver. Is that it? 1, 2. Oh. Uh-oh. Brainbuster. 2. This is the we mentioned last week, the first wrestling game. The with a referee, a cameraman, and 2 announcers. And it's the first video game to have any of those 3, and they had all 3. Back to Starman. I just whipped his ass. Whip it again. I'm going for big moves. What are you doing? Just forget the A button exists. Kick to the mush. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Just body slam the shit out of him. Matthew Elvis Presley, just maybe our most loyal listener here or watcher here on the Markout Moments YouTube. It seems like every show I do, that we do, he's here. We thank him for it. What a guy. We'll have to check in here in a minute, see how the old Elimination Chamber is going. I did see that right before I came on, Alexa Bliss was the first woman eliminated in the women's Elimination Chamber match as we march to WrestleMania. All right, let's pause for the cause here. Just for uno memento, WrestleMania 3. Was this when the Hart Foundation came and stopped the Bolsheviks from singing their Russian anthem? I think it was. Pay-per-view took place the day before I turned 2. Let's see. This was, by the way, WrestleMania 3, the highest attended event in WWE history until WrestleMania 32 in 2016. That's batshit. So match 1, the Can-Am Connection, which is Rick Martel and Tom Zink. They beat Bob Orton and the Magnificent Morocco with Mr. Fuji. Match 2, Billy Jack Haynes beat Hercules with Bobby Heenan in a double. I'm sorry, they didn't beat him. It was a double count out. Lame. Hillbilly Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver beat King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook by DQ. Harley Race with Bobby Heenan, the Fabulous Moolah defeated the Junkyard Dog by pinfall. The Dream Team, which is Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, with Johnny Valiant and Dino Bravo, beat the Rougeau brothers. Roddy Piper beat Adrian Adonis with Jimmy Hart was by submission in a hair versus hair match. By the way, Harley Race Junkyard Dog match, that was a loser must bow. And Junkyard Dog lost pretty clean and didn't do it. Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation beat Tito Santana and the British Bulldogs in a 6-man tag match. Butch Reed beat Coco Beware. Ricky Steamboat with George Steele defeated Randy Savage by pinfall to win the Intercontinental title in 14 and a half minutes. Honky Tonk Man beat Jake Roberts with Alice Cooper by pinfall in 7 minutes. Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov beat the Killer Bees by DQ in 5 minutes and 44 seconds. And Hogan beat Andre with Bobby Heenan for the world title in 12 minutes. So let's see if I can find Jim Crockett Promotions March. What are they doing March of 87? '87. Well, November, they're only like televised big time events. Starrcade '87, Chi-Town Heat. So that doesn't help us. 87, was that the weird year they had like the... Oh, I'm not reading that. That's way too long. They did the stupid like 3-tier cage with Jimmy and Ron Garvin and Kevin Sullivan and weird shit. Here we go. This doesn't tell me anything. Night of the Thunderdome match. Here we go. March 15th, 87. This I like. Daytona Beach. So that show had Mike Rotunda beat Ed Gantner for the Florida title. Mod Squad beat Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong as they would become the Young Stallions, and then what was their name with the pistols in it? Pistol Pete Maravich. I can't remember. What was it? The Sex Pistols? I can't remember that. Young Pistols, Smoking Pistols. I don't remember. Jimmy Valiant beat Conga the Barbarian. Scott Hall beat Tombstone. Yes, it's that Hall, Scott Hall. I don't know if that's 911 from ECW or not, though. And then Kevin Sullivan beat Bad News Allen, or as we know him in the WWF, Bad News Brown, in a steel cage match. Meanwhile, Jim Crockett Promotion was also in Minneapolis at the Met Center. That's odd. Bobby Jaggers and Dutch Mantel beat Thunderfeet 1 and 2. Jimmy Garvin beat Bobby Eaton. Lex Luger beat Baron Von Raschke. Wow. NWA U.S. champion Nikita Koloff beat Vladimir Petrov. The Road Warriors defeated NWA tag team champions Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez. I don't know if that was for the title. I would imagine it was. NWA World Champion Ric Flair beat Barry Windham, and Dusty Rhodes beat Big Bubba in a steel cage match. We would get to know him as the Big Boss Man. So, reading my messages on the smartwatch, and according to Matthews Elvis Presley, if you're watching Elimination Chamber or not, the man in the box was Danhausen. I know, but what was Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong's tag team name? I can't remember. It was something Pistols. I think they had two different names, but I think that one was the Young Pistols, or I can't remember. I don't remember at all. Let's go back to whipping Starman's ass as he just kicks me in the face. Tried to do it again, but I got him first. Let's get the pin. 1, 2. Oh, no 2. So note to self, let's do it here in a minute. So if you're trying to avoid getting kicked in the face constantly, if you just walk towards them and keep walking, they can't kick you in the face. Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. Thank you. That was it. Matthew Elvis Presley's proud to be my producer. The show. Oh, God. Right in the face. Now, I did read that if you get pinned or do a pin, holy shit, lay on the other side of the ring and make the referee come all the way across the ring and count you, you or your opponent does get extra time to recover, which is a nice touch, I think. Get up, get up, get up. We're going to lose. 19. We just lost by counting. To Starman. We're now 4 and 2. Rank number 3, King Corn Karn. You know, I'm stunned that how much more fun this game is than, you know, Super WrestleMania that came out for NES 6 years later, or 5 years later, I guess. It's just wild. This game is so much more fun. And the controls are easier to actually do and understand. It's just bizarre. Yeah. Oh, he ducked me. What a king corn penis. That's what I say. I also do appreciate that every wrestler on this game is wearing just trunks and boots. It's a nice touch. Blasted right in the face. There's a kick to the mush. Old King Slender trying to mount a comeback. Clothesline. Boom. I have forgotten what King Slender's finisher was. The instructional booklet does tell us, and I will consult it here momentarily. As soon as we beat King Corn Karn. I want to do the finish. My finish for the world title. That's what I want. You know? I wonder. We're going to have to play WCW Wrestling for NES to figure this out. But I wonder if Dusty Rhodes ever appeared on a video game as a playable character when he was actually active. I don't think he did, which is insane to think about. I mean, of course, he would later with the WWE 2K games and all that stuff. He did later, but I think while he was active, I don't think he did, unless he's on like some ECW game towards the end. I'm not aware of it. Because, yes, he did have some matches in ECW towards the end. He wrestled, who was it, Steve Corino? Yeah, we beat King Corn Karn. Let's see what old King Slender's finish is. The winner is you. A challenge match, so if I win this one, is it if I win this one, I fight for the title? Is this one for the title? I don't remember. So King Slender, winner is you. It even says it in the book. Let's see. Special. Here we go. King Slender, backbreaker. Grab opponent and press A. What did Efren say? It was bottom. Oh, they actually have illustrations of the wrestlers in the book. Isn't that fun? I like that a great deal. Giant Panther has the iron claw and the headbutt. In the picture, he has Nooks. That's interesting. Giant Puma's here. He's just got a question mark over his face. Giant Panther. Oh, we're King Slender. No, that's clearly Ric Flair. No. Yeah, Giant Panther's Ric Flair and King Slender is Hogan and Kerry Von Erich. Backbreaker. Was it down an A or was it just A? No, I don't remember. I have no confidence in myself. Where's Efren when you need him? So Matthew Elvis Presley in the chat just asked if WCW Wrestling is the game where it would do like a shock or power up thing. I don't know. I've never played it. I haven't. I have that. I have Super Brawl. Never played it for Super Nintendo. I got kicked in the face. So I have no idea. Those will be brand new journeys we can all go on together. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're Right. I mean, I got again the kick to the face with 16-bit graphics. Looks like it killed the guy. This game sells better than most wrestlers do today. Oh, burn. Need some ointment for that burn, sir. Gotta quit going for big moves, TJ. You're going to get beat like that, you know? Wear him down a little bit. You know, let's wear him down. Got him for a 2 count. I'm also, again, we, Efren and I last week here for week 1, we discussed this game still ranks 22nd all time in NES's all time best selling games list. And you would think with this success of this game, now I don't know how much wrestling companies were paying attention to video games back in the day, but with the game's resounding success, and we never saw a Swamp Thing type wrestler, especially in WCW under Jim Herd, it's kind of shocking. All right, I think we got him worn down enough. Let's see if we can do backbreaker. How about I get kneed in the face? Let's start with that. Oh, there it was. Beat him. 1, 2. Oh, we'll crack a shit. Hit him with my finish, and he kicked out. He no-sold me. What a penis. Now he's going to beat me like a real dick. Yep, there it was. I think I've lost to Amazon twice. The hell. No, King Slender. Okay, hold on. King Slender is supposed to be Hogan and Von Erich. That means Giant Panther is Flair, which makes sense because in the book, Giant Panther has Nux on. That makes sense. Okay, we're with it now. We're there. Took us a minute. We got there. Quit trying the big moves, stupid. One move in, and you're like, hey, how about a brain buster? I just get kicked right in the grill, and then I do it back. And then I get kicked right in the grill. And then I get kicked right in the grill. I was getting up, and he still hit me with a knee drop. And a splash. Man, Hayabusa is killing me. Oh, pile drive. Wow, that was real early to be getting a pile driver on me. And also alarming. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Okay. Under control. Everything's under control. Backbreaker. That should do it. It won't, though. 1, 2. I have not played Retromania. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I should play it. I have heard nothing but great things about Retromania. I need to break down and go ahead and buy that. You know what? Now I'm going to hit my finish to beat you. Or you're going to body slam me. One of the two. It's like Groucho Marx when he's in a pin. Body. That's it, folks. That's it. Another backbreaker. 1, 2, 3. What? These guys are just no selling my gimmick here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't even know how I did that. Impressive. Brainbuster. That's it. So that was a challenge match. So the next match should be for the World Championship. Another challenge match. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what's happening. Got some new viewers out there with us. Welcome to Bash on the Buttons. We are playing Pro Wrestling for NES. And again, while you watch WWE Elimination Chamber on your TV, you have us on your phone. But mute that and listen to us because we're more fun. Week 2 of Pro Wrestling for NES. Had a good time with this game so far. It's already miles better than Super WrestleMania, and it's better than WCW versus the World for PS1. What a pile of shit. I'm just getting kicked in the face. I would say confidently that WCW versus the World is the worst game we've played so far. And it's not particularly close. That game was just terrible. One, two. Oh. Just committing homicides out here, this guy, Starman. Suplex of my own. Let's see if we can get some big moves here and put him away. Because he's going to kick me to death if I don't. Got him with one. Suplex, as Gordon Soleil. Gordon Soleil would say, oh my God. As I say, if he pins me soon, it might be over. 1, 2. We kicked out. We're still alive. Pile driver. You know what's coming, folks. You know what's coming. Me getting brainbustered. That's what's coming. 3. Man, we lost to Starman again. We just cannot get past number 3. That is just where we are meant to be. King Corn. At least we know we'll probably win this, you know. I find it fascinating with all the wrestlers. 1987, not the best year for territorial wrestling, but I mean, there were still some fairly prosperous, probably in the right word, but territory is doing well in 87. You still had Stampede that was out there. That's where Owen Hart would be here in 87. And, you know, you got World Class is hanging on by a thread. But they got to carry Von Erich here in the game. You know, snuck them past the guards. Of course, WWF. AWA is not on its last leg yet, but Owen is kicking that leg out from under his leg for sure by here in 87. But I mean, you have enough talent. Jim Crockett Promotions, I mean, they got Flair on the game, but the fact that we had to make a wrestler for Genghis Khan is weird. I don't even know where Genghis Khan was in 87. Was he in World Class? WWF? I have no idea. Backbreaker. Let's watch him kick out of my gimmick this time. 1, 2. At 1. What a dick. Wow. Out of the ring. Oh, my Lantis. Someone call my mama. Oh, my. He is powder on me outside the ring on the floor. I might have just lost. Why did I go outside the ring? Get up. You can't run. Can't get in the corner. This lost to King Corn count by count out. Oh, we're never going to win the world title this way. Again, I wish we could hear the music because I bet it's fantastic. I can hear it. Well, I mean, I have it muted right now, but I could hear it. You can't. Whenever we try to share the screen here, it just mutes it. Or it won't let me share the screen because of the sound. So I could hear it. And I could relate to you how great it is. That seems rude. Outside the ring. Let's see if I lose to Amazon again. Outside the ring. He's already beat me once by count out, and he just blasted me in the face. Oh, I got him in the face. I didn't want to get back in the ring. I was actually going to take a risk, go for a count out victory. What a clothesline. My goodness. Oh, now he's cheating. Referee. I think his claws is supposed to represent like Abdullah's fork, which is why it's stupid. I don't know. I guess. It is, and I don't mean this in any way to be disrespectful to Abdullah the Butcher, although he does deserve it. For the life of me, I've gone back and studied wrestling back to the 50s. And I mean, to a degree before, I mean, everyone knows George Hackenschmidt, all other stuff, but Abdullah the Butcher is such an interesting character for no other reason than this. He is, the wild man from the Sudan. At no point during his career did he not weigh 400 pounds and had his titties over his hips, drooped over his hips. And, he was a novelty. He never stayed anywhere too long. And with the brawling style and the blood and the forks and all the other stuff, like, I understand the appeal and how he could, you could pop a house with him once in a while. But as far as like being able to go around with that gimmick for 50 years or however long it was and be pretty successful with it and nobody got sick of it or wise of it is beyond me. I don't get it. Bruiser Brody, I get the appeal. Abdullah the Butcher, not really. And it also has not helped that we found out in later years that Abdullah the Butcher, probably a low-key dirtbag. So does that sway my opinion? I don't think so, but it's possible. I will grant you that. But I think I'm pretty sure. Now, granted, all the footage I've watched is when he was older, like when he was in WCW for some stupid reason in the early 90s. But I don't get it. Backbreaker should do it. Probably won't. 3, it did do it. I just went with my finish. How do you like them apples? We're not 8-5. Rank number 2. We got to beat Storm. Oh, you know what it was? I remember now. You win the championship. You defend it. Again, however many times Efren said, I think it was 9. And then you wrestle. What was it? Giant Puma. And I'll probably get murdered. Oh, why am I? Stop it. Stop going for big moves, you big dummy. Oh, right in the mush. How do you like it? Great. Nice running forearm smash. The little Tito Santana. And then I just run into you with my face. Kick. Can I get away from this guy fast enough? Gonna body slam him 9,000 times. There's another one. How do you like them apples? There's body slams for everyone. Not enough for a brain buster. Nope. You got him with one. Caught the old Starman. Ooh. Off the ropes with a kick. My goodness. King Slender taking him to the dry cleaners, as the kids would say. The kids don't say that. I don't think the kids know what a dry cleaners is. Went to the dry cleaners a lot when I was in the Air Force. I have not been to one since. I have no reason to crease my sleeves that much. Pile driver, which means that's the setup for the finish. The me getting kicked in the face. Backbreaker. There it is, folks. 1, 2. Kick out at 2, you son of a bitch. Body slam out of the ring. I'm not going to go get him. We are one match from the world title. I want to beat him fairly, clean in the middle, like a man, you know? I don't want some cheap, tainted win. As we hit the 45-minute mark of tonight's Bash on the Buttons, and we still have not won the championship. Pile driver. 1, 2, 3. I believe the next match will be for the world championship as we move to 9 and 5. King Corn Karn. I don't think we've lost to him yet, that's good. I mean, that's good. You know, I went for, what am I doing? I get so excited when I hit the brainbuster just out of the gate, forgetting that you have to build up to those things. You know, you gotta get your basic spots in first. You know, don't want to rush it. Let the crowd digest what's happening. Right in the face. Already got a 2 count there. I might have caught him off guard with that kick to the chops. Can't duck shit. Okay. Now it's just gonna chop me to death. Oh, finally I snuck one in to break the momentum of King Corn Karn, John Candy. Suplex. Can we start getting some big moves in? Pile driver. 1, 2. Okay. Oh boy. Pile driver. You know what that means? It's a setup. It means I'm getting brainbustered. That's what that means. There it is. The backbreaker. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, King Slender. This has to be for the championship. Winner is you. King Candy Corn. Thank you, Matthew Elvis Presley. Here it is. Is this for the world title with Giant Panther? I don't know. I almost went for the brainbuster again right out the gate. It has worked 0 times so far. I'm just like, this time this is going to be the time, you know. I'm due. Missed the knee. Missed the running knee. Now we're slugging it out in the middle of the ring. Getting some updates here on Elimination Chamber. Oh, there was a nice spoof going around. The man in the crate was the Shockmaster. That's funny. That is hilarical. You know, let's check in on the voting. On where we are for the next round of games rotation right now. WCW NWO Revenge still in the lead, followed by Tag Team Wrestling for NES, Royal Rumble for Dreamcast, and then In Your House for Sega Saturn. That is your order right now. Make sure to go on to Twitter, find Markout Moments, vote on the poll, so you can determine what order we will play those 4 games in. Maybe you want WCW NWO Revenge first. Personally, if it was my favorite game, which those ends, hold on. Which those N64 games, I would say most people have a fondness in their heart over that series of games. I would want that to be last. I would want that to. I would want to end the 4 weeks with that, personally. Oh, he just headbutted me. You can't do that. That's chatting. Pile driver. Can we hit it? Backbreaker. Is that enough? 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out. You rat bitch. Brainbuster. 3. King Slender goes down. Oh, we just won the VWA championship. Now we get to defend the title. Get to defend championship. So I think it's 9 times we have to defend the title, and then we'll face King Puma. See, now if you noticed in the middle of the ring apron where it says go fight, it's now changed to a D, 0. D is for defensives. Just so you know. We have not had the best of luck with the Amazon tonight. He is kind of taking us to school. So let's see if we can stop that trend. Body slams galore. Kick to the face. Kick to the face. Dodged 2 kicks to the face. Then we face each other. Body slam. Okay. That's an interesting series of maneuvers. Body slam outside the ring. Let's see if this game is legit and you can't lose your championship by countout. All right, we both made it back in the ring. Nice little thing there for the fans. Get them off their feet a little bit. Little brawl outside the ring. Clothesline. What a clothesline. JBL would be envious. Oh, and now he's cheating. See, now he's cheating. What a douche canoe. Still, oh my God. Oh my Lord, plancha. And what I love about this game, it actually calls it a plancha in the booklet. Oh, did we just win by count 18? Yo, you bitch. And he's cheating. Referee. He's facing you while he does it. Let's have some justice out here. Backbreaker. Is that enough? 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out at 2. I don't know why I thought he locked up with the referee just now. Brainbuster. Can we get it again? No. We're going to get body slammed and pinned. That's what we're going to get. Oh, backbreaker. Is that it? 1, 2. He kicked out at 1 again. What is happening here? What kind of bullshit? Forget no selling. He's just disrespecting me now. And we're just dead. We both hit heads, but I can't get up. Here we go again. It just happened again. Pile driver, and he got I got it good, you know. And he kicked out. What a penis. Backbreaker. Is that enough? 1, 2. No. What are we doing? We got a barn burner here between King Slender and the Amazon, and then he beats me with the brainbuster. First defense. We dropped the title. And I get to wrestle him again. Great. I'm so angry right now. I hit, what was it? 3 backbreakers, a couple brainbusters, and a couple pile drivers, and we still lost. That means I think I've lost the Amazon now 4 times tonight. What a cheating bitch. Just cheating right in front of the referee. Referee didn't do shit. It's like this referee is what is I'm just getting kicked in the head repeatedly. Now I have a concussion. There's no question. It's like this referee is Scott Armstrong working for the authority. Oh my god. I'm just getting distracted. Hey, we got a reversal in. That's something. And I get brain busted for my trouble and probably just lost. My goodness. Ugh. Trying to mount a comeback here. That's not what I wanted to do at all. No brain buster. I got brain bustered. That's it. I think the Amazon is like 4-0 against us tonight. I can beat everyone. I can beat Starman. No problem. Amazon. He is this game's Goldberg. I walk away. We don't want to get kicked in the face. There we go. Nice little soup play for you. Get kicked in the face. I try to walk away. Walk away. You come get some. I'm not. Oh, my head looked like a splattered jack-o'-lantern when I hit the floor. One punch and I'm down. Like, what is this? Bart Gunn? Who is this man? Out the. I need a chiropractor as soon as this match is over. I'm just getting. My lumbar is just getting destroyed. I will tell you, playing the original Nintendo for going on an hour, my thumbs are sore. Efren just joined us. Efren, to catch you up, Efren, take a pause to the cause. I believe right now I am 13-7, somewhere in there. I won the world title, lost it in my first defense to the Amazon, lost the rematch to the Amazon, dropping us to 0-4 against the Amazon. And it's just he is this generation's Andre the Giant, you know? Hasn't lost a match in 15 years. So now we're working our way back up the ladder. Old Fighter Hayabusa and Efren, I just hit the pile driver, which means up next is me getting Irish whipped into a clothesline. But we've been doing pile driver into the backbreaker right there as the setup. 1, 2, and I've only won with it once. 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote. Goodness, finally. Got back in the win column. I got a wicked tickle in my ear. 12-7 is our record. Starman, Starman whips the shit out of me, but I beat him every time. I think maybe once tonight. Went for the pile driver out of the gate like a dumbass. Keep doing that. I don't know why I didn't just invite Efren back to the show this week. He should just be my permanent co-host. I don't care if he wants to. I want him to, you know? And everyone knows, the only thing that matters is what I want. A little suplex. Punch right to the chaps. I'm going to get a suplex in. Body slam. Let's get a pin. 1. Brainbuster. If I get a pile driver here, soon. It's going to be probably not over. There's a pile driver. Backbreaker's coming. Is this going to be enough? There it is. 1, 2, 3. Your winner. King Slender. That was, I just beat the shit out of Starman. You didn't know what happened. What happened? King Richard Karn up next. Old Al Borland with a ponytail. Efren, how many guys did you say we would have to beat after we defended the championship to take on Giant Puma? Was it 9? Because that doesn't even make sense. You tool. Oh, pile driver already 10. That's crazy. Backbreaker. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. A record. Well, I don't know if it's a record, but it's 49 seconds. We just whipped the shit out of Richard Karn. So I think it was Giant Panther we beat last time for the title. Maybe this will be the same. I don't think it gives a shit that Amazon's beat me 12 times. It will not be the champion. 3 times harder than the first time. Well, hopefully I don't fight the Amazon ever again because I can't beat him now. Nope. I don't like that we can only Irish whip in one direction. Don't like that. Other than that, this game would be a lot of fun multiplayer. Unfortunately, when I played this game when I was real young and played multiplayer, I had no idea like how to strategize and whatnot. I do not remember being good at this game. I can tell you that with absolute certainty. Kick to the face. Stop it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Body slammed outside the ring. Matthew Elvis Presley's going to smoke weed. Bragger. Giant Panther's just whipping my ass now. Not quite enough. Don't like the position we're in, though. We're getting to the nitty-gritty. 1, 2. Whoo, boy. That was close. Backbreaker. 1, 2. Not enough. How about a pile driver? Will that be enough? He really sat down on that pile driver. That's it. Whew. I would call that a comeback win. We are now 15-7. Oh, Jesus. The one man I was not prepared, or thing, swamp animal, I was not prepared for, mentally or physically. The Amazon. The Amazon data center. Cheating right in front of the referee. Again. You know? Again, we got NWO Nick Patrick as our referee, apparently. Just letting the Amazon cheat all day and all night. Again, what are we doing, referee? We could try this. Let's try this referee technique. Pull your head out of your ass. Let's start there, you know? Kick to the face. Can't get pile driver yet. Danny Davis, solid move. It is the right timeline too. For this to be Danny Davis as the referee. Good call. Matthew Elvis Presley again. Good call. Old dangerous Shannon Davis. All right. Send this some bitch back to the pond where he belongs. There's the backbreaker. Probably won't be enough. 1, 2. It is not. What if it's so nice? You get it twice. 1, 2, 3. Wow, we finally beat the Amazon. Son of a bitch. And we won back. We are now a two-time VWA world champion. As we take on fighter Hayabusa. I enjoy that this guy is based off of Antonio Inoki, and there would end up being a Japanese wrestler named Hayabusa. Both of those things are enjoyable to me. Yeah, I can tell already we're gonna have a barn burner here on our hands. He is feet ablazing right now. Oh, he dodged my clothesline. What a prick. Dodged that one too. Body slams me outside the ring. Efren just oh boyed me in the chat. I don't know why. Come back here. Oh, I wanted to try to body slam him outside the ring. Get a cheapo here to start it off. I'm not above getting a cheap win, Efren. You know that. Whatever it takes. Now I'm just going to get kicked to death. Oh, I landed one. Walk away. Walk away. Oh, walk away. Oh, my goodness. Not enough for a body slam yet. But we got, or a powder. We got a body slam. King Slender. I haven't read Efren's comment. I'm trying not to lose right now. Ugh. Come on. All right, body slam. Let's take control back. Take back control. Or not. Let's get body slammed and kicked. And, oh, walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Get some air. Can't body slam him yet. It's crazy, which is crazy. It's been almost 2 minutes. I can't body slam him. Or a pile drive him. Oh, boy. Plancha outside the ring. Also, again, I love that when you hit the mat, you turn into Ralph. It's enjoyable. Still can't hit a pile driver. It's bullshit. You know, we can hit is the Gordon Sully suplex. Hayabusa is a motorcycle, but it was also a wrestler in the 90s for FMW and cannot remember where else he went. Mostly FMW. And then he would become paralyzed in a match in 98, 99. I think he might have made one appearance for ECW. Could be wrong. I just hit him with Brainbuster, Pile Driver, Backbreaker, and he kicked out. There we go. First defense. We got Hayabusa. Holy shit. When you fight with King Slender, you have to face everyone twice to win that title. Compared to everyone else, they only have to fight once. And I'm King. Oh, is it because in the game, in the instruction booklet, as I throw it across the room, is it because it recognizes, the game recognizes out the gate that King Slender is the world champion? Is that why? It's curious. Let me throw on the comments so everyone can actually see what the hell we're talking about here. All right, Starman, take it easy on me. No, or don't. Just come out raging. There we go. All right. Nope. Walk away. Get some oxygen. Take a powder. Take a powder. I'm really enjoying you playing them, watching you play the new AEW game. They wish. I do like that. This isn't an anti-AEW thing. It's just something I've noticed. Again, being an innocent bystander watching from the sidelines. When that game came out, AEW Fight Forever, there were defenders of it. And listen, I never played it, so I don't know. Now, is it going to be on our list one day? Are we going to play it? Absolutely, but I haven't played it yet. But when it came out, everyone said it was the greatest thing. It was either the greatest thing ever or it was terrible. But it's the internet and it's wrestling, so there's no in between. It has to be one or the other. It can't just be, all right. And then you never heard about it again for a while. Then I remember it went on sale and it made a big comeback in the news. Which, by the way, it going on a discounted price is not weird. Video games do it all the time. And then it went away again. And then you heard like 2 months later, there was like 6 people on the server at one time playing it. And that was the last time I heard about that game. Again, are we going to put AEW Fight Forever on our list one day and play it? Yep. David Allen Scully, good evening, sir. He says, I had this when it came out on NES. Well, welcome to Bash on the Buttons, David. I believe this is your first time. I don't recognize the name. On this show, we don't play emulators. This is the real thing. We are playing pro wrestling for NES. This is not an emulator. And we are trying to defend our world championship for the second time against Starman and trying not to get our face kicked in and not doing a very good job. Pile driver. Effort, you know what's coming. Top rope knee drop. Me getting body slammed. Not the backbreaker I was hoping for. This guy, David, I like him. He's got the real thing too. That's right, you do. Backbreaker. 1, 2, 3. 2 championship defenses. What's up? Ooh. 18-7 tonight. 2 world title wins and now 2 defenses. Of course, the first world title win, we lost our first defense to the Amazon. In rather resounding fashion. He beat us in less than a minute. So if you are like David Allen Scully, new to the show, welcome to Bash on the Buttons. Every 3 weeks, we'll play a new game. This is week 2 of Pro Wrestling on NES. And, of course, reminder, go to our Twitter at Markout Moments and vote on the new poll. Just came out, where you will decide what order we play the 4 games on the poll. Your choices: WCW NWO Revenge for N64, In Your House for Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, Royal Rumble for Dreamcast, I should say, and then Tag Team Wrestling for NES. Again, it has some votes. Somehow I think Efren's involved in that. Wants to see me suffer. It's widely regarded as one of the worst wrestling games of all time. And we have it. And we're going to play it. It's on the poll. But again, you decide what order those 4 games get played. And again, let's say NWO Revenge wins, that game will be first out of those 4 games. So again, if it were me, I would think if that was my favorite game out of the bunch, probably is, I would want that game to be last out of the 4 because I want to save the best for last, you know? So maybe I'll vote for Tag Team Wrestling. Maybe I'll vote for Royal Rumble for Dreamcast. Maybe I'll vote for Revenge. Or not Revenge, In Your House. In Your House, if you remember, that was the one that got super arcadey. So like Doink the Clown had the hand buzzer, and Yokozuna, I think, had like turkey legs fly at him or some crazy shit. Which now, thinking of, if that is true, and I'm not just making up in my mind, knowing what we know about Yokozuna and his obsession with turkey tails is hilarious. King King Richard Karn trying to take it to us here. But King Slender right now having nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Pile. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Backbreaker. Is that enough? 1, 2. It is not. It does tickle me that I've now come up with a thing where pile driver backbreaker, and it doesn't win, but I do it every match. Efren asks if I've ever had turkey ass. If you mean the deep fried turkey tail with the mayonnaise, no, I've not. Just be Richard Karn. I have only had ass. Oh, sir. So if we beat Giant Panther here, that'll be win number 20 in our 4th world title defense here. Now I think we have to keep going. An hour and 16 minutes into the show, I think we have to keep going until I lose. See if we can get to Giant Puma tonight. I think it's the law. But I'm gonna take a break for a second. My thumbs hurt. Let's sit and chat. Now, actually, let's see. Let's check in on the old elimination chamber. Are we still going? I've had a very low sleep score this week. No shit. So looks like. What are we doing? There's a Twitter account named Phony Shivani. That's tremendous. Not Giant Puma, Great Puma. I said, that's what I said. Get. So who's in the box? Is it Danhausen? So Sam Adonis. Someone's whose opinion I listen to. Wrestler. Says, I wonder where NWA would be right now if COVID never happened. Billy had legitimate steam. I was part of the first 4 or 5 tapings post-COVID. The pay scale couldn't survive in the lack of crowd, causing infrastructure to change. Without COVID, NWA would be a major player. Respectfully disagree, Mr. Adonis, because I distinctly remember an NWA pay-per-view where he had James Missile doing cocaine off a bar table. So, no. No to all that. I still, like, of all the stupid shit I've seen in wrestling, and I've been watching wrestling since 1989, but again, I go back to the 70s and the 60s. James Mitchell doing blow off a bar table is, on pay-per-view, is, if it's not the worst thing, it's close. It may be like Hogan Savage, Dungeon of Doom triple cage, and then James Mitchell doing blow. But I mean, they're more or less tied. I wasn't watching when WWE when Paul Bearer got buried by concrete by the Dudleys. You know, I wasn't watching during Katie Vick. So I've missed a lot of shit, and I'm okay with it, from what it sounds like. But so it was Danhausen that came out of the box, which of course means he's over. He came out of the box, he's over. Over like Grover. I am interested to see how they're going to use Danhausen. You know, whenever they get an interesting, either company, AEW or WWE, I'm always interested to see how they're going to use someone like a Danhausen. Because, not to be disparaging or anything like that, in the world of wrestling, like, Danhausen certainly has his place, and Danhausen has nailed his character, and he's going to be effective. But how many different ways can you use Danhausen in a wrestling setting? I don't know the answer to that. And I think it's going to be WWE's challenge. I would love to see them make Danhausen like an actual scary character. I wouldn't hate that. Make him like an old school movie villain horror villain like Jason, wouldn't hate it. Just lost a giant panther. Last week, everyone was king, and now everyone's giant. Whoa. That was the fourth title defense. Fifth title defense. I lose one match. I go 4-1 in my title defenses, and now I have to win the title again? What kind of bullshit? I thought this was America. Talking about sucking the wind out of my sails, you know? I thought we were having fun, had a good thing going, and then I lose one misstep. I didn't press down. I don't know why you're trying to go for a pile driver. I have one misstep against giant King Panther, Pink Panther, and we're just back to square one. Who was the wrestler for WWE in like the 2000s that they said like if he had to lose or if he lost his championship match, he had to start back at the bottom of the ladder and became like an actual storyline. He was working his way back up, but that ladder was like 4 rungs, and then he got his championship match back. WWE. I do love sometimes that in wrestling in general, like, man, because listen, I don't hate the idea of a storyline. Like, hey, if you lose this championship match and you unsuccessfully challenge the world title again, like you have to start back at the beginning. They've been doing that shit since I watched, right? Yokozuna and Lex Luger is a prime example. And how many times have they done that? Yeah, work your way back from the bottom. But yet the bottom, again, from the bottom to the top of the ladder is like 3 rungs. And then you got to beat, you know, Bodacious Bob and then Midian. And then, I don't know, Justin Hawk Bradshaw. And then you're right back in the world title picture. Like, it's kind of silly in the same token. Yeah, so funny you bring that up, Matthew, about the whole Sting not being tan enough thing. Was it here we talked about that? I think it was. We're talking about Sting not being tan enough, and I think it's the biggest crock of shit thing ever. And listen, I'm not by crock of shit. I'm not saying it's not true. I believe that story of Hogan saying he didn't want to drop the title because Sting wasn't tan enough. Now, granted, that one line is a gross oversimplification of, I think, what Eric meant by Sting just not having his head in it. I don't think that. I know that. There were other factors that was just the most glaring because it's the right, it's visual. So it's the most noticeable. No, Matthew, I know it was on 83, but I'm saying I think we talked about it this last week on Bash the Buttons when I said that I think Hogan saying he didn't want to drop the title to Sting because his head wasn't in it and he was not tan and he was pudgy, which I need to go back and start K97 and watch that because I can tell you in real time, I did not notice that. I've never noticed Sting was pudgy ever in my adult life. And I've been watching Sting for 30 years. But I do think that's a bullshit excuse by Hogan in the sense that I think it was just a reason for Hogan to not have to drop the title cleanly. I think, again, the proper end to that story, Sting Hogan, Starrcade 97, the proper end of that story is Stinger Splash, Stinger or Scorpion Deathlock, 1, 2, 3, or submission, whichever. Pick one. That's the right answer. I mean, in Eric's shoes, and I know it's easy to do this, easy to armchair quarterback, that. And I was 12. So we have to look at that too. But if you put almost 41-year-old me in that spot at Starrcade 97, I'm the president of WCW. We have the biggest storyline this company's ever done, put us on the map, made us, 95, I think, was the first year they went profitable. Maybe 96. But regardless, 97, they're doing they're $60-70 million in the green. Guess. And I know the future of my company, my profitability, blah, 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 is based off of the finish of Starrcade 97. The only proper finish to that match at Starrcade 97 was Sting to go over clean. Period. End of discussion. Now, if this is not counting Sting's out of the ring issues that no one but Sting knew about at the time, which puts an unfortunate twist on this story, right? Because let's say that happens, and then in the middle of Sting's defense, as I'm guessing in 98, we would have seen the beginning of Sting dismantling the NWO. Maybe we would have seen a finality of the NWO, and it wouldn't become this 30-year long-lasting joke ever since, because it just never ended, and it got bigger and bloated. But maybe we do get finality out of that. But if Sting's not in the right headspace, I mean, that quickly, not only, look, again, I hate to do this, but let's say you get a Jeff Hardy TNA situation when he actually ironically wrestled Sting, but you get it with Sting in some pay-per-view, Bash at the Beach, Slamboree, and he's not fit to be in the ring, but you got another blow-off type match, world championship match. Now your angle is shot. Now your ending for the NWO is shot. And I think that's kind of the important part of of the Eric Bischoff Hogan decision. Now, granted, Hogan didn't know that. Didn't. But this is just a what if scenario. But man, like, to do that, to have Sting beat Hogan clean, and then Sting's life falls apart 6 months later, and he's no longer dependable. And now, what do you do? Do you just put it back on Hogan and pick the next guy? Now, luckily for WCW, they probably would have got away with it, because by the summer of 98, Goldberg's coming strong. They didn't know that, obviously, in December of 97. But in summer of 98, Goldberg's full ass. Now, granted, Goldberg still can't give you 6 minutes, but he is the hottest babyface you have by a mile by the summer of 98. So could you go Sting, have him drop to Hogan just to transition to Goldberg? Maybe, but here's the other side of that token. Does Hogan agree to do a 1-month title reign? I doubt it. In that scenario, Hogan probably does the story. And again, I'm not even blaming Hogan for this thought. Like I say that like it happened. But I wouldn't blame Hogan if he had this thought. Let's do Hogan Goldberg at either Halloween Havoc or Starrcade, instead of on Monday Nitro in the middle of the summer in the Georgia Dome. I love having these talks, even if they were just with me and no one else was around, you know. It is interesting, like Sting's 97 and 98 is so interesting to go back and look at, because you got the Starrcade 97 finish. You get the questionable decision based off of the entirety of the start of the 1997 Sting NWO Hollywood Hogan storyline, to where Sting then joins the NWO Wolfpack, because now they're the babyface stable. Which, by the way, when I was a kid, NWO Black and White and NWO Wolfpack was the coolest shit ever. I love that. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I loved that storyline. I loved the NWO Wolfpack. Nash, Conan, Savage, Luger, Sting. Almost DDP. Should have been DDP. One of the most baffling things on television for wrestling I've ever seen. I remember like it was yesterday because it was so odd. The Wolfpack, since the NWO Hall and Nash first came in throughout that first part of 96, well, to the end of 96, because DDP diamond cutted Scott Hall at the Superdome in January of 97. But you have DDP saying he's upset that he wasn't one of the first guys picked for the NWO because of his relationship with Hall and Nash. And that's what leads him to join the Wolfpack. And Scott Hall was there in the Wolfpack, kind of. He turned. But there was an episode of Nitro where Kevin Nash is asking DDP if he wanted to join the Wolfpack. Again, I remember like it was yesterday. It's the end of the show. And DDP he's on the stage doing an interview with Gene Okerlund. He has the Wolfpack shirt in his hands. I'm at home, 13 years old, losing my shit. Because DDP was my boy and Wolfpack was my stable. Right? I'm all the way in. I'm losing my mind. He's holding the shirt out. He looks down and he goes, I never thought I would do this. Meaning, he's about to throw that Wolfpack shirt on. Hogan and Rodman run out and attack DDP with a chair. And you're like, oh shit. What a twist, right? I can't wait to see next week when DDP is in the Wolfpack and they start to formulate how they're going to go get Hollywood Hogan and Rodman and the NWO Black and White. It was never referenced again. DDP almost being the Wolfpack, never referenced again. And instead, you got DDP and Malone against Hogan Rodman. Again, box office, international television, news coverage, 100% the right decision. All the way. But you could have had Hogan and Rodman representing the Black and White against DDP and Malone representing the Wolfpack in that match. And again, does it do anything for your international coverage? No. Does it do anything for your on-screen business and your storylines and the credibility of your stables? 100%. 100%. That is the one thing. There's two things WCW did that to this day I can think of like it was yesterday, and I'm just as confused now as I was then. DDP and the Wolfpack's one of them. The other one, when Goldberg was world champion, he was wrestling Ming on a random Nitro, and this is Parachute Pants, Afro Ming. And I've always said they made a mistake with Ming. They should have gone, for one, the Faces of Fear should have been one of their dominant tag teams. It should have been them on the heel side and the Steiners on the face side, period. And sprinkling the Outsiders and Harlem Heat. But Meng is the single. I also thought they didn't do enough. I will throw the WWF in with that also when he was Haku. He's wrestling Goldberg on Nitro for the world title. And he's beating the dog shit out of Goldberg in this match. And he goes for the tongue and death grip and connects and takes Goldberg down. And for whatever reason, he's got Goldberg back on the mat, tongue and death grip. The match is over. For whatever reason, he just lets go. And gets up and starts, I can't remember if he was jaw-jacking with a ref or celebrating. One of the two. Goldberg gets up, spears jackhammers in 1, 2, 3. Which is fine in the grand scheme of things. Continues Goldberg, puts him on, the just unbeatable path. Why did he let go? Someone explain to me. Why did Mangum just let go of the tongue and death grip? Matthew Elvis Presley says Dungeon of Doom killed Faces of Fear. If there's one stable I wish I could go back and rehab, it's Dungeon of Doom for a mile. First of all, it wouldn't have been called that. I don't know what I would have called it, but it wouldn't be that. Because Dungeon of Doom just sounds stupid. Like those three words put together sounds stupid. And they were loaded. If it was just Kevin Sullivan, the Faces of Fear, the Giant, shit, I would take Kamala. If that's your stable, not the Shark, not the Zodiac, not the Leprechaun, or whatever dumb shit, Loch Ness. What was Curtis Iakea there for? I don't even remember. The Yeti. If you have Faces of Fear, Kevin Sullivan, the Giant, and again, probably not Kamala, but Kamala's been around long enough. He's respected. His name is known. If that's your stable, and rename it from Dungeon of Doom, because it is like a Dr. Seuss book, I think that entire stable is viewed differently today than it was back then. Dungeon of Doom is the name of P. Diddy's basement. On that note, we're going to unpause. I forgot I was wrestling Starman. But yeah, the Dungeon of Doom, there was talent there. Even Ed Leslie, as much as we love giving shit to Ed Leslie, the dude was over at one point. The dude knew how to get over. I actually didn't hate him as the Disciple. When I saw him as a kid live in 1998 come out as a Disciple, I didn't know it was him. Until I was in my 30s, I didn't know it was him. So I give him credit on that. Man knew how to get over. And he knew how to stay over. He knew what it took to get over. And I don't know what I call it, but it ain't the Dungeon of Doom. But man, you're right. The Faces of Fear was hurt by that faction, and everyone was. John Tenton's career was never the same. John Tenton just went from one of the most dominant heels in the WWF to a joke in no time fast. Less than 2 years in WCW. Going from Earthquake to the Shark, the Avalanche and the Shark, and John Tenton with half a beard, and the Dungeon of Doom has to go down as one of the worst stables ever. And it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. They had talent. Again, any stable that has the tag team of the Faces of Fear should be over. And they were the opposite of over. They were garbage. But if I was going to rehab that stable, change their name. Again, I go Faces of Fear, the Giant Kevin Sullivan. Again, Kamala kind of doesn't fit in my review or repackaging of the stable. But again, if I had to pick one out of the group and make it a 5-man, it would be Kamala over everyone else. Actually, do you know who I would have put in there eventually? If I could have stretched it out to 98, Raven, I would have put in there. But again, what do you call it? Because again, it's not Dungeon of Doom. That is the dumbest shit ever. That is the most Hulk Hogan repackaged 1990 gimmick stable name ever. Dungeon of Doom. What are we doing? Is Jim Herd still working here? Who was Bret's partner in WWF? Do you mean Bret Hart? This is Jim Neidhart. Is that a trick question? Are you trying to fool me into something? Are you trying to get me to sign up for a Verizon contract? What's happening here? I don't know. I think the biggest issue with the Dungeon, well, not I think, it is. The biggest issue of the Dungeon of Doom. Well, let's start here. And I don't blame him. Before I say this, I don't blame the man one bit. The biggest issue with the Dungeon of Doom was Kevin Sullivan was in it. Not saying Kevin Sullivan was not a good character. It's not implying at all. What I'm implying was Kevin Sullivan was the booker. So that hurt Dungeon of Doom creatively out of the gate because they were going to get pushed one way or the other. They never got a chance to build. They never got a chance to get credibility. You know, they're a main event stable, right? The Dungeon of Doom, main event stable. They're up there with Hogan, Savage before the NWO came. How many matches did they win? I'm going to say 0. And they never got a chance to succeed. They never got a chance to grow. They never got a chance to develop. They were strictly there to lose to Hogan for 2 years. That was their purpose. And, you know, by the time they start getting new people in 96, it was Conan and Hugh Morris. But by then, the Dungeon of Doom was such a joke. Hugh Morris and Conan did not stand a chance to get over in that stable, which is why Hugh Morris ended up breaking solo and Conan joined the NWO. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I don't understand. Matthew, are you trying to make me look stupid or feel stupid? I don't know which one it is. Either way, I'm just going to keep talking because it's kind of my job here on this show. Yeah, man. It's an interesting question. Is the Dungeon of Doom in its entirety the worst wrestling stable of all time? The answer has to be yes, doesn't it? What's worse? Again, even with the oddities, we knew it was a comedy group that never pretended to be anything otherwise. They were just a comedy group. The Dungeon of Doom was supposed to be a freaky main event, Charles Manson-esque main event stable, and they didn't win shit. They didn't win anything. Like, if it wouldn't have been, honestly, if it wouldn't have been for the Giant winning the world title in 95, I don't know if they would have won a match. Think about that. And all this because, this started because of, how did this start? Meng just letting go of Goldberg for no reason at all in 98. God, I love doing this show. I'm so scatterbrained. And I love video games. And I love wrestling. I get to do all of these things. But man. But again, Dungeon of Doom, worst stable ever. But also, maybe the biggest missed opportunity. Because they actually could have been something. They had the talent. Kevin Sullivan, for all the hate he gets, for one, the Taskmaster gimmick was about 5 to 7 years past its expiration date. By the time it actually got retired, when Chris Benoit retired him in, I think it was 97. And you got the Giant, because the only saving grace to that stable was the Giant. Because even the Faces of Fear were not wrestling the Steiners or Harlem Heat or the Outsiders. Hardly ever. Let alone every week. Hardly. I'm about to lose in tremendous fashion. John Tenta's WCW run is a joke. Who was Big Bubba? Big Bubba started off as the bodyguard for Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express. And by the end of his run in WCW, he's some fat guy in a leather coat and a motorcycle helmet for the Dungeon of Doom. What? And then he was in the NWO. Why? Yeah, I know I lost. It's fine. It's whatever. We're just never going to see Giant Puma. It's okay. King Puma, whatever his name was. Giant King. It's all the same shit. Yeah. To me, Dungeon of Doom is the worst stable, top to bottom, front to back, ever in the history of WCW. And honestly, I don't think it's close. I really don't. The stud stable with Bunkhouse Buck and Dirty Dick Slater and Robert Parker was better than the Dungeon of Doom. Well, actually, no. There was that really weird stable. I think it was 96, early 97. For whatever reason, WCW was like, hey, what if we packaged up the young guns of WCW to show everyone the future? And the 4 guys they picked, Alex Wright. Okay, I'm on board. I'm on board with Alex Wright. Alex Wright, Jim Powers, who was 39 at the time that first video came out. Joe Gomez, who absolutely no one had heard of. And who was the other one? Alex Wright, Jim Powers, Joe Gomez, who was the Renegade. They were the next generation of WCW, them 4. And they were all managed by Teddy Long at one point. Yeah. Yeah, so this is it right here. This is the key to the Dungeon of Doom. They tried to be a stable big enough to take out Hogan, and they just weren't. That, beginning to end, that's their problem. They were crafted around beating Hulk Hogan. So there was no way for them, even after Hogan turns heel and joins the NWO, there's still a Dungeon of Doom. You know, the Giant turns on him and joins the NWO. So I guess the Dungeon of Doom was baby faces for like 3 months. But even when the Giant leaves the stable, I mean, they're essentially done because then Conan's goes NWO. That's why I say Faces of Fear kind of broke out on their own. Conan, or not Conan, Hugh Morris kind of breaks out on his own. But I mean, of course they just got dismantled. They're largely replaceable. Matter of fact, you had the NWO. You didn't need another heel stable. But once you get past the point where none of these goofs, other than the Giant I have in my stable, are going to beat Hulk Hogan, and it's no longer important because Hogan's not a babyface, but that's your whole identity, where do you go now? Oh, now we're going to try to beat Lex Luger? Who gives a shit? You couldn't win the first one. Why do we care about the next one? I don't know. That stable was just doomed to fail from the word go. And again, I think part of their issue, through no fault of anyone, I'm not blaming anyone, but when Kevin Sullivan, who's the head of the stable, is also your head booker, it's just not. And Kevin Sullivan's probably one of the rare guys in the history of wrestling that he booked for other people far better than he booked for himself. Because I don't remember Kevin Sullivan, other than that, did I just do a backbreaker already? I don't remember Kevin Sullivan, other than the Chris Benoit story, in that entire time frame. Because when was he ousted as booker? 98 or 99? And he was mostly a finish guy, a heat finish guy. I don't remember Kevin Sullivan booking anything that was worth of shit. And what I mean by, like, the man did book heat, no question, and he had some very hot finishes he booked. But as far as week to week television and storyline progression and all those things, again, if it wasn't for Sting overcoming the NWO Black and White, who does? No one, nobody got over on the NWO Black and White. Not Flair, not Luger. The Giant, the 7'4", 500-pound monstrosity, who was the only person in WCW that could beat Hogan rather handily. Now, granted, he got resurrected from the dead at Halloween Havoc 96 or 95 after he got launched off the Cobo Arena. No one could beat Hogan. And again, because that's how you booked him. Which is, again, another Hogan overshadowing WCW issue. One of the things that does that is he signs with WCW in 94, does a ticker tape right through Disney. I haven't said anything yet I hate. I like both of those things. They're fine. But you have him come in, and the first thing he does is he beats the staple, the franchise of WCW, Ric Flair, for the world title, match 1, Bash the Beach 94. Again, fine, I guess. And to be fair with that match, I don't know what else you do. You can't exactly have Hogan come in and face Arn, the number 2. But then you have him go to Halloween Havoc, and he beats Flair in a retirement match, which lasted 3-4 months. And then he's already beaten Flair, so then what? What do you do now? Oh, I know, the Dungeon of Doom. And it's the WWF got away with being a Hogan monster factory for so long in the 80s because they had the talent depth to do it. You had Big Boss Man. You had One Man Gang, a.k.a. Akeem. You had Mr. Perfect. You had Andre. You had Ted DiBiase. You had Randy Savage. You had Ultimate Warrior. You had me getting beat by Fighter Hayabusa. You had Earthquake, The Undertaker, Sergeant Slaughter. They had people to fill those roles, to be the Hogan Slayers. WCW did not, because that's not how they were built. Ric Flair was the cocky, arrogant, excellent wrestler, excellent cheater that just outsmarted everyone. They didn't need a bunch of monsters behind him. And then Hogan came in. And listen, I don't blame him. Hogan's whole business model is slaying monsters. I get it. But Hogan comes in and he wants a monster factory to help him get over and credibility with the fans and the championship and everything else. They don't have it. WCW didn't have it. They had Vader. And that didn't work out great either. So they bring in Ed Leslie and make him the Butcher, and he main evented in the Starrcade. I don't know why I'm censoring myself. You bring in John Tenta, who, in retrospect, works out well in WWE as the Earthquake, works out well in Japan because he's Earthquake. And anything outside of him being Earthquake flopped. And then you got Sullivan, who, all accounts and purposes, is a fine, well above average character heel. Creepy dude, head of a stable, brood before the brood. But he's 5'6", 5'7"? Which is already just visually off-putting when Hogan's 6'8". And there's just, to me, it's not enough. Sullivan was an okay promo. He wasn't an all-time promo to get over that visual hump. All right, here we go. Efren just says, if I don't lose another match tonight and beat Great Puma. So I just won the VWA title. So we are starting the chain right here. If I don't lose another match and beat Great Puma, it's going to give me $300. Efren, let's do this. I don't want you to give me $300. You and I are going to pick $300 to a charity of our agreement. Matthew Elvis Presley wants to say, can I get $300 also? Maybe we donate to Matthew Elvis Presley. We're not going to. But maybe. I'm giving you $300. You do what you want with it. Okay. I hope I don't lose this match and make it real anticlimactic. They get blasted in the face. So what's some other stables you guys think had, you know, some talent behind them, and whatever it just didn't work? I think one of the more underrated stables is the Varsity Club from the 80s. That Mike Rotunda, Rick Steiner, Steve Williams, actually ironically enough, Kevin Sullivan. I thought that's one of the more that stable is way better than it gets credit for. From a talent perspective, I'm not saying it's on screen super duper effective, but it is the birthplace of Rick Steiner on a national level, is the Varsity Club. And they did make a one-off appearance. What was it? When Jim Duggan was like the janitor gimmick, I think they made a one-off appearance and turned on Duggan. I feel like that's correct. 1, 2, 3. There's one, Efren. We got one. I've got custody of 3 kids. I've done worse for $300. I don't. Go ahead and stop there, okay? Let's just go. Your attorney may be watching this show. It's a very popular show. Let's just go ahead and stop with that. So what else? What other stables do you think were just a drizzling shits from the word go? Honestly, I can't think of many. For the most part, they usually get it right with stables. Both companies did. Just the Dungeon of Doom. And the Dungeon of Doom was not the talent. It was just a shitty idea. They couldn't get over the idea that Kevin Sullivan was trying to be a supernatural Charles Manson. Trying to do too many things at once. Pick one. Supernatural, Charles Manson. You can't be both. Because there is a world. Kevin Sullivan in 1994 and parts of 95 is going where the Grammar is going to the ECW and tagging with Cactus Jack. So there is an alternate universe where a member of the Dungeon of Doom is Cactus Jack. And we're just calling it something else because the Dungeon of Doom, again, as we decided, as a name, is stupid. Stupid. Dungeon of Doom. Most Disney shit I've ever heard in my life. Like the Dungeon of Doom should have been a hockey team in the Mighty Ducks. There's 2, Efren. We speak King Richard Karn. Here comes match 3. 29-10. We've had 39 matches tonight. This game is stupid. And it just shows you how much I love you guys and talking to you guys. I've had a riot tonight talking this wrestling talk. Not going to be Giant Panther's goofy ass. He's tan. Sting, take notes. But it's a very real possibility. Sting Hogan, 97 Starrcade is the worst match final ever, or match finale ever. I mean, it's at least in the top 3. What's worse than that? I can't even say the screw job because the screw job was still entertaining because you didn't know what was happening. Backbreaker already. My goodness. Tiny Puma, Tiny Dancer. Grand Puma, Grand Torino. Pontiac Puma. Uh-oh. Pile driver. If we get a backbreaker here, it won't be over body slam. I didn't get it anyway. Oh, I don't. Pie face. I don't know what he's doing there. I wonder if that's. He's got Nux in his picture in booklet. I wonder if that's what it's supposed to be. Like an image of him with the Nux. Backbreaker. Uh-oh. Am I going to sneak one in? 1, 2. Nope. Kick out of 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. 1. We kicked out. Okay. There are children still somewhere have a chance of getting fed. I kicked out. There's a great Sam Kinison bit from the 80s. 1, 2. Where he's talking about like the old, and I'm old enough to remember these. The commercials they would show in like Central Africa, Northern Africa. Well, the starving children are. And they would say, Tina, what was Tina Yothers? Is that her name? Tracy Smothers. Well, they would say, if you sent 39 cents a day, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3. We got to 3. You can feed all these children. And Sam Kinison had the best line I've ever heard. Well, I mean, like the cameraman standing there, surely he could have gave the kid a sandwich. Like that's great. That is a great line. But it makes you wonder, like, yeah, we sent these camera crews, TV production crews to this country that is just stricken. Efren, I know that Tina Others and Tracy Smothers are 2 different people. I'm aware. But they're just stricken with famine and disease and all these things. And like, what if we just film them for our commercial and not like, I don't know, feed them while we're there? Just a thought. Like you could have saved the whole TV commercial if you just would have brought food instead of television equipment. Thinking outside the box, you know? If I win this match, because the Amazon's been beating the shit out of me all night, I hope you have your game event insurance active because it's happening if I win this one. As I get kicked directly in the nose. Back away. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, boy. There is something I do like, as much as it annoys me to no end. I do like that the computer is constantly trying to kick me in the face because it makes you think. Like it actually makes you be good and have a strategy. And I'm beating the hell out of this Amazon. Can we get pile? Oh shit! Oh shit! Efren, I hope your wallet's ready, buddy. Pile driver. Backbreaker, is that it? 1, 2. Oh, hell. Brainbuster. 2, 3, 4 defenses, Efren. Here we go. Here we go. We're almost halfway there. Fighter Hayabusa. Whip that ass. I just realized that his fist is in his picture. Fighter Hayabusa. I thought it was his pec. So let's stop for a minute because Matthew Elvis Presley says Efren is low-key one of the best game show hosts. Always the life of the party. First of all, Efren has been doing 41 matches. Efren, you shut your face. That is not what is important. Right now is what's important. Efren has been an excellent game show host of the game event. You got some more jackets to Jimmy Hart. That's a fact. For 4 years now. And I know that because when Efren first started the game event up, me and Josh Odom were his 2 guinea pigs. And Josh was one of his producers. I wasn't. I was just a guinea pig. All kidding aside, Efren is one of the most talented and kindest people you'll ever meet in your life. And if any person on any major network or streaming platform is looking for a game show host and they come across Efren, will no longer be looking for a game show host. What I'm saying is, if the right person sees Efren hosting any of his shows, he's going to be the most famous person I know by a mile. Now he's embarrassed because now he's bitching at me because I'm taking too long. Also, no one played Risk in college. Like anyone knew what Argentina was when they were in college in the 90s. Let's just settle down. We only knew that in high school because they made us write book reports about it. And the explorers that found them. Vasco da Gama. I did a book report on Vasco da Gama. Remember it like it was yesterday. The good old days. Oh my god. Pile driver reversal to a kick to the mush and then a back suplex. Let's get a pin in. 1, 2. By the way, if Efren offers like legitimate, if Efren offers me $300 and that's what it takes to make me make it to Girthy Puma and then beat him, I mean, what's his like? Efren might be the matchmaker of the year. You know, like he is my Burgess Meredith in Rocky. You know, all kidding aside, I mean, what are we talking about here? Apparently, Efren liked Girthy Puma. I'm just going to say his name wrong every time because it makes me laugh. Walk away. Okay. All right. We walked away. Body slam. Okay. We're in it. No. All right. I can do a double headbutt. We got up first. Kicked in the face. Stop it. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Pile driver, Efren, you know what's coming, buddy. Me getting body slammed. Everyone knows it. Get out of the way. Oh, shit. Me getting body slammed. He keeps trying to go to the top. Oh, he got me that time. Oh, snap. No. Oh, shit. I'm in trouble. You guys, I'm in trouble. We're halfway there. Oh, not quite. We're almost halfway there. Piss. I didn't want to pick him. I wanted to pin him. That's okay. I got pile driven. I was trying to pile drive him. Oh, shit. We're in trouble. Oh, no. That's it. That's the show tonight. Thanks, Efren, for ruining it for everyone. You know, I sat there and I built you up, and then you ruined it. Game's off. No one's happy. Everyone's upset. I'm not crying. You're crying. All the children we could have helped. I enjoyed tonight. What is this? It's even a random thought. That doesn't do it justice. Are you? Oh, he smoked weed in the middle of the show. That's what this says. He smoked weed in the middle of the show. This isn't a random thought. This is a high thought. Okay. So I enjoyed our conversation. I almost won $300. And by almost, I mean we weren't even halfway there. So next week, gonorrhea. Next week, week 3 of Pro Wrestling for NES. It'll be the final week. Will next week be the week we take on Giant Puma? You know, everyone else has put up such a great fight. I think not. Somehow making it through next week without fighting Ron Gant Puma would be a giant mistake. My dog agrees. She's upstairs losing her shit. She is so, you see, she's so upset. I wonder if I can get my hands on a Game Genie. But we got one more week of Bash on the Buttons, Pro Wrestling for NES. And then, of course, you will decide what we play the week after. And before we leave, let's get an update on that poll, since we've already been here for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Right now, your leader in the clubhouse for the next game, WCW NWO Revenge at 44% is leading the bunch. Tag Team Wrestling for NES Efren is second. I feel like you're getting on ghost accounts and voting for that. Third is Royal Rumble for Dreamcast. And last is In Your House Sega Saturn. It has 11% of the vote. But those are your poll for next week or 2 weeks from now. I want to thank everyone for coming. Efren. I feel like maybe if only there was a way that him and I could figure out a way to intertwine Bash on the Buttons and the game event. By the way, that's not a spoiler or like an Easter egg or a hint. I really wish that. I don't have an answer yet. I would love there to be one. But next week, who knows what we'll talk about? We spent 40 minutes talking about Hogan and why his 80s run in WCW 94, 95 didn't work. We're talking about why Starrcade 97 is possibly the worst finish to a major match ever. What are we going to talk about next week? You'll have to tune in to find out. In the meantime, I'm your host, CJ Stevens, for Markout Moments. This has been Bash on the Buttons, and we'll see you right here next Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the final week, week 3. Pro Wrestling on NES. Until then, I pressed the wrong button. What do you think about that? It's about to get real weird. It's just going to be empty.